Michael Cohen, these stories taken individually are riveting, but I needed to talk to you about the portrait coming into focus because the you-know-what is getting real. There are real charges, real prosecutions, and real jail time on the line. Something that you know all too well is, in many instances, the natural sort of through line of service to Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, only you, Nicole, can get me on the first vacation that I'm having with my family in 5 years. Only you can get me, and it's 6 hours ahead from you to miss dinner with my family on vacay. Because this is important. And watching those videos of myself, I want to smack myself in the head. And so I did truly believe that he was going to try to become a great president and a president for all Americans. Unfortunately, I was wrong. So, yeah, I was an incredibly effective spokesperson for him because I did truly believe that he wanted to do right by America and not to create an autocracy, which is what he ultimately decided the second that he won in 2016 that he wanted. And as it becoming real for the rest of these 18 individuals, let me tell you, to each and every one of them, and I've been saying it literally since my House Oversight Committee hearing, when I said it to Mark Meadows or to Jim Bag Jordan, I said it to all of them. I know what he's capable of. I know what has happened to me. And rest assured, what's happened to me will happen to you if you don't smarten up.
You know, and I didn't show those clips to embarrass you or make you cringe. I showed them because I think that Rudy Giuliani or Roger Stone, they think they're different. And they're not different. Right?
Nicole, not only are they not different, let me be very clear about something. I had a decade-plus relationship with Donald Trump, and we saw that the only way for me to collect the monies that was owed in legal fees was to sue him, which took 4 years. Donald does not have a long-standing friendship or relationship with Rudy Giuliani. He does not. In fact, he has even less of that relationship with Roger Stone, who he never thought much of in the first place. But yet, they are all appeasing and they are all playing to a party of one. For what reason? I don't know. Let me be also very clear about something. I read the Fani Willis indictment. It reads like a book. It reads like a really good book that lays out facts and it lays out circumstances and documentary evidence and testimony, all to get to one ultimate conclusion. And the ultimate conclusion here, Nicole, is a guilty conviction.
Michael, let's take some of these defendants and indicted and charged individuals separately and talk about them separately. I think about Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira. I don't know anything about their personal lives, but I think about their families. And I think about, in Walt Nauta's case, he went from a military service to be a personal valet to Donald Trump. I'm sure he thought that was a great opportunity. He now faces serious criminal prosecution. Carlos de Oliveira, again, I don't know anything about him personally. I don't know if he has a family, but he too probably thought he had a neat job doing IT at the private club of an ex-president. Now they face mountains of legal bills, excruciating stress on themselves and their families. Can you tell us a little bit of what you know from your own experience they're going through personally and financially?
Well, I can tell you that it is like having an anvil falling out of the sky, like we used to see on the Roadrunner. Or, this anvil is dropping out of the sky and it's landing straight on top of their head. It is a never-ending financial obligation, the stress and the pain that it causes one and their family, especially the family. There's really no way to describe it. Remember, I had this all happening to me over a very short period of time. Theirs is significantly longer, especially because they made the mistake and they pled not guilty at the arraignment. It's not going to be easy on any of them. And in fact, each and every day that goes by, it becomes more and more difficult because the extraneous circumstances that come into play. Banks walk away from you, friends walk away from you, your loss of your business opportunities walk away from you. I don't see how Donald could continue to have them around. I can assure you, like what I wrote about Giuliani, he's not going to pay any of those legal fees, and he's going to use a line of nonsense, something to the extent of, well, if I pay your legal fees, there's going to be this presumption or this appearance that I'm obstructing justice or it's witness tampering, and I can't have that right now, especially being a co-defendant in this case. And so I can't make these legal payments for you. Well, that adds a mountain of pressure on top of you. And trust me, I know this because Donald did that to me right in the dead center of when the legal was needed the most. So again, when I say that Donald doesn't care about anyone or anything, he doesn't care about Rudy. He doesn't care about Roger Stone. He certainly doesn't care about Walt Nauta or De Oliveira. He doesn't care about any of them.